At some point, I want to form my own Manchester United fan channel because I'm fed up. I'm sick and tired of these performative platforms. I want a constructive conversation, and I don't want fans who disagree going to war. I want you to agree to disagree. I love Manchester United, but let's get this absolutely clear. Let's not get it twisted. If you ask me to name the entire squad's names, I won't be able to do it. If you asked me to list you yesterday's team's names, I wouldn't be able to do it. When I do a review of a movie or a TV show, I forget all their names, right? I'm not good with names. I'm not a footballing expert, but I do love Manchester United. From the day I saw them lose the title to Blackburn, I fell in love with them. So I'm not even a glory boy, but you're not even from Manchester. It doesn't matter. They're in my heart. End of story. Now let's talk Turkey. Some of you, man, want Rubin Amorim to already be fired. Can you explain to me what exactly he's done wrong? He didn't want to come to United this season. He committed himself to one more season at Sporting because he's an honest, genuine, moral guy. But he was told by Ineos and Ratcliffe it was now or never, so he bit the bullet. He was thrown in the deep end. Now let's ask the question that everybody's asking and debating. Was it really a wise idea to change his formation, to make players play in a formation they're uncomfortable playing in? Well, I'd ask a deeper question. Players who are paid millions of pounds a week, shouldn't they really be able to adapt to any formation? Think about that. So I said from the moment this lad came in, he had a free season, right? I wouldn't criticise anything he's done. So what was his real intentions of changing the formation? He knew what was going to happen, didn't he? He did it to expose players. He wanted to see who would adapt to the formation, who would try to adapt to the formation, who would say, I'm not doing this. Do you remember at school, there was always those kids that said, I'm not doing this. Those types have to go. Maybe Rashford was one of those who said, I'm not doing this. Now, I don't know what it was about Rashford he simply didn't like, but he saw something and he said, no, mate, you're gone. You're gone, that's it. Ruthless, brilliant behaviour. Man United have been needing this for such a long time. Now, there's been a debate about how he's handled the Garnacho situation. Garnacho has been doing this for bloody years. He likes things that criticise Manchester United. Who does that? The boy's a twat. He's probably a lovely lad, but the boy's a twat. Let's not get it twisted. What he got his brother, or allegedly got his brother, to say about the manager and the club's season is ridiculous. So, absolutely spot on. You're gone, son. Goodbye. It's a bit like that episode of Friends where Monica's being bullied by her staff in the kitchen, so she employs Joey to fake disagree with her. And then all the staff, when she fake fires him, shit themselves. Maybe this is another thing. Maybe it's not too late for Garnacho. It looks like it is, but at least the players, if you're a player there thinking, shit, I'm a millionaire, but this guy can just tell me to fuck off. I want to play for Man United. I support Man United. I don't want to leave Man United. I better start listening to what this geezer is saying, because this geezer means business. For a manager who's nearly lost all of his games, I've never seen anyone stay so calm. And credit to Sir Jim and Ineos for not publicly losing their shit with the man. This man, when Ratcliffe has spoken to him, this manager, Rubin Amorim, has told him to fuck off. How do we know this? Because Sir Jim told us. That's an interesting relationship they have. When you look at the Forest manager's relationship with the club's owner, that was a ridiculously embarrassing situation. But United, at least, their manager and co-owner if you like, can agree to disagree. We need to see more of that in this society. So he's absolutely right. A lot of people have said this is a weird formation. No, it's not. It's a defensive negative formation. It's not. it's more of an attacking formation than a defensive one, and a lot more attacking than Ten Hag's overly negative, boring formation. Someone has to stand up and say, we've got to stop this high press nonsense. We've got to stop this negativity. I mean, the Premier League isn't what it is. Think about it. City won 4 leagues in a row. That's like Rangers and Celtic, right? The Premier League has become like the Scottish League. And it's like Liverpool. It's funny, on my timeline yesterday, you wouldn't even think that Liverpool won the league. The way everyone was chatting yesterday and celebrating our victory, it's like we won the league. Of course we didn't. Look, what happened to United this season is unacceptable. I normally like to buy the season review, but Jesus Christ, I'd want to jump off the tallest of buildings if I watched this year's season review. So some of these people saying, oh, I have doubts over Amorim. Why? Why do you have doubts over him? Because he plays a formation of his own. Trust me, we saw how attacking Sporting were with that formation. So it proves it's an attacking formation. And actually, if you look at how many goals they leaked, it proves my point. It's not a defensive one. In fact, it's a very dangerous defensive tactic. It's more attacking than it is defensive. And because everyone plays with the press these days, he'll play with the press to a point, but not in the over negative way we saw Ten Hag and Pep and, the other managers implementing. Everyone's implemented this horrible tactic and destroyed the English game. And in Europe, they're not implementing that tactic anymore. But they are in England. And it's destroyed the league. It's not the competitive league in the Premier League it once was. And watching us play Villa kind of showed you something. Actually, basically, the quality of one team to the other isn't how you don't compare the players. You compare how many results they won. And clearly, Villa were the better club than us this year. But in terms of quality, I didn't see much differences from Villa to United. Now, they had a few injuries. Obviously, Rashford couldn't play. So what's going to happen, basically, according to the media, every player is up for sale. That's not true. Who would I keep? I'd only keep the newly introduced young players. As I say to you, I don't know all the names, but the newly young players that have been introduced this season, I would keep. Anyone else can go. What about Bruno Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes is a lovely man. He really, truly is a lovely man. He's a brilliant footballer. He's been a catalyst to Manchester United. He's been the same type of catalyst that Eric Cantona was, but in the opposite direction. How would Cantona take the situation we're in now? Would he thrive? I don't know. But I do know that Bruno has been there with us during the dark times. But Manchester United are in a fiscal situation, a fiscal hurry-curry. And let me be clear about assigning blame here. I only expect the Glazers to be the Glazers. I expected Ed Woodward to be Ed Woodward. But if you're doing protests and if you're not protesting on a banner against Sir Alex Ferguson, then you're wasting your time. Because the reason we're in this shit is because Sir Alex tried to get more power at the club. So he made friends with these Irish horse racing owners. He convinced them to buy a big share within the club. They then fell out over a fucking horse. So for revenge, these Irish horse racing owner millionaires sold their shares of the club to the Glazers. All of this is Sir Alex Ferguson's fault. I love him for what he did for us. I hate him for the mess he's put us in. He even brought in Moyes so he could control the narrative and use Moyes as his puppet. So he may be a great manager. I'm not convinced he's a very good person. So a lot of comings and goings this summer. I believe it's possible that we sell 75% of our playing staff because there's no money. Unless we sell, we can't buy. Now the Wolves lad has been confirmed. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that. Now my advice about transfer rumours, if it doesn't say Fabrizio Romano at the bottom, then don't listen to it. Ignore it. I don't retweet it. If you follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad, then I'll retweet only stuff from Romano. I might do the odd thing from Ormstein and the other guy, I forgot his name now. But apart from that, I'm not getting involved. Unless I feel like it's a rumour that excites me, I may retweet. But normally, I only share stuff from people that I trust. So, these are my Manchester United opinions. I will be launching a Manchester United fan channel, an honest one that won't have any bullshit. See you again soon.